Hey everyone, this is Adam from Cleavr, and today I'm going to provision a new server, and on that new server, with one click, just install a WordPress site. Well, first I'm going to add that new server, and let's call it WordPress. And I'm just going to leave all these as their default selections, but I'm going to enable install monitoring, and then click on provision. And that's going to provision a brand new server, which should be ready in about 5 minutes. So let's just go ahead and speed this up. All right, awesome. It looks like our server has completed provisioning. So I'm going to go ahead and click on our new server, WordPress. Once I do that, I see basically it's prompting me to install a new site. But before I do that, let's go ahead and click on services. There's some things I want to show you. If you look at installed services, there's a bunch of installed services that were installed during that provisioning process that we just went through. And there's also a list of available services that have not been installed but are available to you. And we could see that some of the services here, such as PHP and different database types like MySQL and MariaDB, aren't yet installed on the server. But we're going to need at least PHP and a database installed on the server in order to run WordPress. But I don't want to do that just yet, because one of the beauties of Cleavr is that if you lack a dependency and you select a site type such as WordPress, what Cleavr will do is notice that your server is currently lacking those dependencies and will install those dependencies for you. So I'm going to go ahead and let Cleavr do all that for me. I'm going to select WordPress here, and then I'm just going to assign a random cleavr.rocks domain to test the site with. And then I want to supercharge this with Fast CGI cache. And then I'm going to look at the database name, database user, database password. I can go ahead and change these to something that maybe makes a little more sense to me, that's a little more familiar for me in terms of naming conventions. This is a good opportunity for you to jot down the database user and password, because we don't really show that anywhere else in Cleavr from now on. And if you ever want this information again in the future, well, it's going to be a little troublesome to find it. It's still going to be available in a WordPress config file on your server, but we're not going to present it anywhere in Cleavr. Just go ahead and click on Add. And boom, this is basically our one-click WordPress install. So I clicked basically one button to provision a server, and then I clicked essentially another button in order to install WordPress. Well, I clicked a couple other ones. You know, I wanted to enable Fast CGI as well as server monitoring, but you get the drift. And we can see right now that it's configuring MySQL 8, so it's choosing MySQL 8 as the database to install and to configure. And if I go to the Services tab, I should also see that it also selected PHP 7.4 as a version of PHP to install and run on the server as well. So let's go ahead and click back here on Sites, and we'll continue to see the status update for this WordPress installation. All right, it looks like that WordPress site has finished installing. If you click on this little pop-out icon right here, it will pop it out into a new tab. And we should see the setup screen for creating a new WordPress site. All right, that was pretty painless. So it took just a couple clicks of the button in order to install a brand new server to run your WordPress app, and then another click of the button to install a WordPress app on that brand new server. Pretty easy. Let's also take a look at the monitoring tab here and see if that finished installing. Okay, cool. So we could see our monitoring tab here. This bit of goodness right here, I'm guessing, is when we installed the WordPress site on our server. So we can see the CPU usage spiked quite a bit around that time. We could see that our server uptime's been pretty strong so far. I'm going to say that's 100% uptime. So far, so good. Not too bad for being around just for a couple minutes. Scroll down more, see some web server stats here. Not too many requests. It's basically when I just hit the site myself. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video on how I showed you how to simply and quickly provision a brand new server and then install a WordPress application on that with a single click of the button. Stay tuned for some more videos coming up where I show you some more advanced functionality with PHP and WordPress using Cleavr.